Hey everybody, just coming on to, I hadn't done a live on YouTube in a while and I thought that I would see what everybody's doing. I did a live tonight on TikTok and I thought that I would just check in and see what everybody's up to. And if any of you want to do interactive, just send um, a comment and I think I can bring you in and you can be on as well. That would be fun. That's what I prefer about YouTube is that it can be interactive where TikTok cannot. So, did I just saw a comment on TikTok. Right now, everything is so terrible, with this crazy president that we have that refuses to sign that relief bill. And, y'all, I apologize. It's so cold up here. My hair has so much electricity, it just sticks straight up. But this woman commented that she was tired, she was hungry, and she was so sad she could cry. And it just broke my heart. I mean, I mean, this is just a terrible time. I cannot wait until Joe takes office. I don't understand why Pence does not do the 25th Amendment and just get rid of Trump. He is causing so much chaos that it's just terrible. I'm hoping um, top chat messages, personals. If anybody just let me know what you'd like to talk about tonight. But, I can't think of anything that is more pertinent than what's going on. And then the explosion in Nashville, it has just knocked out the phones in um, northern Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky. So many people are without telephones. And, they're searching someone's house. They think they found the person that did it, but I think he's dead. I think he got blown up in that RV. So, that's the way that goes. Um, you know what it's going to be. It's going to be somebody trying to start chaos. So, because they think Trump can do martial law and overturn the election. That's what all this is about. I guarantee you. Now, no one has come out and said that, but to go to AT&T building and blow that bomb up right there, they knew what they were doing. It wasn't it wasn't like that was the only parking place in town. It was to cause chaos. And you know, we have 25, well, tomorrow we'll have 24 days left. And I will be so glad when this is over with. I am just, some days I don't think I can stand another day of it. And I've been doing some TikToks and putting them on YouTube, but I advertised that I was going to be on tonight because, I would like to start having um, YouTube shows. Now, when I'm on TikTok, I'll have, a couple hundred people on. But I tried to let everybody know that I was going to be on tonight. But who knows? But it is the day after Christmas and everybody's, having fun and doing things. Hey, everybody, I'm glad y'all could join me. I was just talking about the seriousness of everything that's going on right now. It's just there's just some days I just don't, it's depressing. Not only the virus, but this business with Trump. Now he's vetoed the military spending bill. And, the military's not even going to get paid. That's what's so crazy. They need to override that darn thing tomorrow. They need to all go back to Washington, override that bill, and it passed. But the only reason he did it is because his, racist bunch, um, they don't want him to change the names of these um, southern, bases like Fort Bragg and all those. Those were Confederate generals. And, he has sworn that he will never allow them to do that. Well, that's just right up those um, white supremacists because, that's their flag is the Confederate flag and everything. You know, why did they ever name those bases after Confederate generals? It doesn't make any sense. They lost the darn, war, and they should have been, I don't know. I think it's just insane, I can tell you. But I'll be so glad when he's gone. And, I'm up in northern Kentucky, Indiana right now. I'm spending the time with my aunt. My husband flew back to Palm Beach yesterday, and y'all saw that I posted. He went behind the house and um, he, took a video of the beach and just the lull of the waves and everything. Because when I'm away, I really miss that. I love to just, but y'all, it's even cold in Florida. It's freezing here. I think it got up in the low 40s here today. But last night, I think it was like 15 degrees. I'm not used to this, but in Florida, I think I think it got down in Palm Beach, which is southern Florida. Um, it I think it was like 45 last night, which was the high today here. But I think, let me see what this is. Tim said, I was thinking that you were there. No, I'm spending some time with my aunt. I'm going to go back um, after the first of the year. It'll probably be, I'll wait till after the inauguration, and my husband just goes back and forth. But that's where I live. But my aunt is, going to be 92 her birthday, and she's doing good, but, I'm her only person to take care of her. So I, I go back and forth, and then I work and I hire somebody to stay with her. And I don't ever leave her alone. I just don't. And my husband and I, when I'm here, he comes back and forth. And let me see what it says. Joy to the world. That's right. I I was, I've been singing some Christmas songs and Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy Hanukkah and all those good things. But this has been the craziest year. It's just been, but my life really doesn't change much except I'm not working. I'm going to California on the 26th of January. I have a meeting out there. I have to go to, y'all know I broke my foot last year when I was filming a television pilot. And we're trying to get that all taken care of. And I have to go to a state doctor out there. These insurance companies, oh, dear God, they're a pain in the wahoo. But California don't play, honey. And I got hurt on set, so they got to pay it whether they like it or not. But let's see, TikTok has just turned into, you know, a terrible thing. You can't do a video hardly anymore because the Trump supporters just hit it as quick as they report it. And because TikTok there's not really anybody that looks at it, it's artificial intelligence. And they bring it down 34 degrees in Atlanta right now. Wow. Hey, that's chilly. But I'm from that area originally. I grew up in between Gadsden, Alabama, and Rome, Georgia. So phew, I remember when I was 5 or 6, we had an ice storm that we didn't have power for almost 2 weeks when I was a kid. And it used to get really cold, but it doesn't get as cold down there as it used to. But I mean, whew, we used to pray for snow. Let's see. Oh, honey, are you in San Francisco? You know, that's, um, if y'all, if y'all have seen, um, I have a new song out on iTunes. No, 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 no. Amazon Music. And it's on Spotify as well. And if y'all type in Amanda Hen, um, you'll be able to download it. It's not very expensive, but all the proceeds go to the musicians. We were trying to do something to help musicians because they're all out of work. And I'm with a record label uh, that we are just going to do more of them. I think maybe in the fall we're going to do a whole album. And there's one song in particular that I want to record, Cry Me a River. I love that song. But this one is It Had to Be You. That's one of my favorite songs. So if y'all go to Amazon Music and Spotify, I don't know if it's on other platforms or not, but I think it's $1.29. I'm not sure. But anyway, all the proceeds go to the musicians because there was like 100 musicians all over the world that did their parts and sent it in because we had to do it. Now, I went to the studio and it was in San Francisco, and I laid the vocals, but there's musicians from all over the world playing on the song. And it's a way for us to raise money for them, in these times of COVID when they're unemployed. And, I'm always about doing stuff. I got to put my glasses on so I can see it. Oh, great. I'm, I think, I've enjoyed it. And Israel Tannenbaum is the producer, and he's the owner of the record label. And I think he has 16 Grammys, and he mostly does Latin music. And I met him at a funeral. I mean, who would even think about that? But a friend of mine, a director in LA, his mother passed away, and this funeral was like a Broadway production. I'm not kidding you. And they had flown um, Israel down from San Francisco to LA to play the piano for everybody to sing and everything. But my friend, his father had been the conductor of the Met Orchestra in New York, and his mother was a professional opera singer. So, I mean, all these musicians, and, some of the Gettys were there. I mean, whoo, you know, this little girl from Alabama, I, I was not used to that kind of stuff. But it would, just to have that kind of, I can't imagine even knowing enough people to have that kind of funeral. I'm always telling the people I know that I'll have to hire people to take me to the grave. We went to a friend of ours' funeral. It was a couple of years ago, and he had 500 people at the funeral. And I'm like, I don't even know 500 people. But he had touched a lot of people's lives, and it was fabulous to see people um, celebrate his life like that. It was a real blessing. But anyway, we recorded this song. When he told me that he wanted to do something with me, he said, "What's your favorite song?" And I said, "It had to be you." And he said, "Well, I'm gonna arrange it, and I'll let you know, and we'll record it." And I was like, "Okay." But I'd been in movies and television shows, but I'd never recorded anything. I always played the piano and I sing, but not professionally. But anyway, um, I had to go to California 2.5, 3 months ago, and for a television show. So while I was there, we arranged it, and I flew up to San Francisco, laid the vocals, and then flew back to LA and finished up there, and then flew home. That's great. Let's see. Um, I bet 500. You've got many years. Oh, thank you, darling. But, I'm 66. You never know. And, if it all ended tomorrow, I've had a fabulous life. My goodness. You know, the thoughts of some little country girl have been able to have, I bet 500. I may know 500 people, but would they travel to come to a funeral? I don't even want one. I think it was a blessing to go to that funeral. But, you know, I just think that once it's over, it's over. You better do what you can while you're here. And the rest of my life, I want to make a difference in people's lives. And, I do TikTok to encourage people to vote and to raise people up. Let's see, celebrating life. That's what now and beyond. Um, let's see, burn me and put me in a. I don't really know what that means, but it's like um, do what you can here, and that's what I want to do the rest of my life is to give everybody a helping hand and anything that I can do to raise money. I mean, right now, especially, oh my goodness, it's so bad right now. Um, darling, you're going to have to explain to me what that means. I got blocked. But anyway, um, a ceramica glaze. Oh, I got it now. Yeah, a ceramic glaze. Yeah, I've seen that. I got you now. I've seen where I guess they cremate you and they take your ashes and put you in they make a glaze out of you. And somebody told me that they they wanted china made for their husband, so his next wife would have to eat off of the china with me on it. People's got the funniest sense of humor. Um, but then I've seen it where they take the remains and make a diamond out of you. Um, my husband always tells me that I'm full of it, so mine would probably be a brown diamond. We got to have comedy going. It's got to be funny. But I, while we're talking, and if anybody wants to, I think I can bring y'all in if y'all want to be on, you know, to be able to interact with each other. I think if you want to do it, Kevin, do you want to see if I can bring you on? And if you have your camera on and everything, we can see each other that way. I'll have to figure it out, but I hear you can do it. But we will see. If anybody wants to, you know, oi, oi vey. But, that's the good thing about YouTube is that you can, and I know you can do it on, my brain just fell off. Instagram, you can do um, two people or three people on at the same time. I wish they would do that without comedy. Life would be pointless. Absolutely. And you are so right, honey. I had to put on my glasses so I could see the comment. I wonder if um, if I turn this, will it flip it and make it so it's nope is locked. Rotate back. It will not allow me to do it. But maybe next time. I'm not ready. You're not ready for a close up, Mr. DeVille. Yeah. Um, I normally don't put on makeup, but I knew I was going to do this today, so I slapped some on, and I got makeup in my eye. And since COVID hit, um, I had, who wants to put it on? I try to put on a little. Sometimes on TikToks, I don't even put it on. You know, I know that Rosie doesn't do it either, but Rosie started following me, and we, you know, do messages back and forth. I would love to have her on the television show that we're working on. I think that'd be so much fun to work with Rosie. She would she would be hilarious to do that together. Don't y'all think? I mean, she's so funny when she goes tick tock, tick tock. You know, she's just funny. And she started last night. I've reached out to Current. There's some kind of banking thing that you can work with them, and they give money, whatever, like advertising you do. Um, they will give money to help people in need. And I reached out to them, so I know Rosie did it last night. I'm hoping that I can do it, and we can give money to you know, um, different organizations, individuals. I don't know. I don't know how they pick the people that gets it, but I've been trying to do things to raise money for food banks because it's so bad right now. There's 60 million people that are having problem with just having enough food. And, I think it's after tonight, if he doesn't sign that bill, everybody's um, unemployment's going to run out. I mean, it's insanity that. But he's just mad because Mitch congratulated Joe, and it was his people that negotiated that those two bills. It's two bills wrapped up in one. It's the COVID relief and the omnibus regular. Um, what do you want to call it? Omnibus, um, just regular government funding is all it is. And the full makeup routine is half hidden by the makeup. I know that's the reason there's no point in putting on makeup anymore. And the good thing, I used to, when I'd go to airports, I always fly Delta. And, when you're traveling, and I usually travel by myself, um, it can be a little scary. And so they've stopped it now because, they're in trouble financially too. But in a lot of the major hubs, they had the service that, they would meet me at the door, and they would take me through security, and then they would take me through the back halls so I wasn't out in the public. And they would take me to the Sky Club, and I would stay there until it was time to board the plane. And I would be the last person to board. In a lot of cities, they would take you down and they'd put you in a car and they'd drive you to the plane. And I'd walk up the ramp where y'all don't, the other people, walk down that little ramp into the plane. Well, I'd have to walk up the stairs, and they'd have my seat and my luggage already on the plane, and I'd just walk on, sit down, and we'd leave. And that was such a, for safety reasons, because I travel by myself, it can be, um, I'm not saying that I'm all that famous or anything, but when you're on television and stuff, people, I mean, y'all wouldn't believe the stuff I've had said to me. You've seen comments that people say to me on TikTok. You know, I've seen people. Now, some people are really, really nice, but some people are not. And, I don't know why, but they're just not. But anyway, and then when I would get to, especially LA, there's hordes of photographers and everything that's always just ready to pounce on you. And when I would get off the plane, I'd go down the stairs. Delta would drive me to a hotel that was close to it's just right off of the airport. Um, Honey, y'all hadn't lived till y'all are driving on the runways and everything, and planes are going all over the place at night. It will scare the wazoo out of you. But especially at huge airports like Atlanta and LA. But now with masks, nobody knows who you are. I saw Cher talking about it. You know, she puts a hat on and a mask. She said it's the first time in 40 years she's been able to go anywhere without people recognizing her. And I know a lot of people, um, um, some people like that, but I'm really shy. I know y'all don't believe that, but I really am. And you know, I like to celebrate other people. I'm uncomfortable with people celebrating me. I know that sounds crazy, but I'd rather celebrate other people. You know, I'd rather celebrate y'all. And I've always told y'all that, you know, this is our platform. This is not my platform. It's just having a way for us to, you know, get together and talk and, you know, see what's going on. But Ann, I didn't ask you if you wanted to come on and say hello to everybody. Um, Anybody that wants to. Let me gotta put my glasses on. Oh no, darling. You know, I don't deserve anything. I want to, you know, you're really sweet, but I just don't, you know, hmm, how do you say this? You know, God just gave me an opportunity that a lot of people don't get. And He didn't give it to me for my benefit. He gave it to me to do something with it. And I always go back, I think it's a verse in the Bible, I've seen it somewhere, that think the people that much have been given, much is expected. And I just think that, you know, it's nothing is about anybody that glorifies and self glory. I don't want to be around them. And, you know, I want to build people up. You know, I know that I can attack Trump and all that kind of stuff, but it's to protect y'all, and it's to wake people up to know that we have somebody that's not a good person. That's what it is. And when, you know, I say things about Trump supporters, it's trying to shock them into realizing that I got to put my glasses on. Yeah, me either. You know, I just don't get why people don't see what's going on with him. It's like, I got to put my glasses on, y'all. Oh, honey, I just try to speak the truth. And I try to give people information. And I always, mm-mm. No, Trump is not Christ. He may be the Antichrist, but he's certainly not the Christ. Oh, no, honey. I, thank you, but, you know, it's my job as a human being to, if if God gives me some ability, and He is the devil, He really is. And honey, I've known him for 40 years. He, trust me, y'all know that I worked in New York for years and years and years. And he would be at parties, and, you know, he's in Palm Beach right now. But he would go to those parties, and people in Manhattan, he was a laughing stock. And people tolerated him because he paid to go to those parties. When you see these people in, hey, darling, when you see those people in People Magazine and all these places at those parties in New York, they're paying to go to it. No, he didn't say anything about Nashville. He all he's doing is brewing about not winning the election. He could care less about any of us. And, if he cared anything, this bill, this COVID bill, may not be the best thing in the whole wide world, but at least it would get some money into the hands of people that need it right this minute. And it was his Treasury Secretary, Mnuchin, that did this bill. Yeah, I don't understand. You know, I don't understand that you could have no feeling for anybody, that that people are hungry. There's kids that didn't even, and it's all right. I didn't get a lot when I was a kid for Christmas, and I survived it. But at least you know, we really didn't celebrate Christmas. But I always got a little something, and ooh, my hand's going to sleep, y'all. But I just, little kids. Oh, I'll be so glad to see him gone. We've got 24 days tomorrow, honey, and he'll be gone. I'm not sure he'll ever go back to Washington. I just really don't think he's going to go back. I could be wrong. I could be wrong because he's going to pardon his kids and a whole bunch more people. And I really don't think he's stupid enough to try to pardon himself. I think that he might resign and let Pence pardon him. It would tickle me if Pence didn't do it after he resigned. That would be funny. But, and the crazy thing about it, y'all bear with me a moment. All these people he's pardoned, he don't understand. Yeah, I don't think he's going to return. They can, but I'm here to tell you, I think he's gone. And, I could be wrong, but I don't think he'll ever show his face back up there again. He's just going to stay in Florida. I don't know how he's going to live at Mar-a-Lago because, when he turned that into a private club, he agreed that nobody would stay there more than 21 days in a year. Plus, his apartment at Mar-a-Lago is only 2,000 square feet. Honey, he's used to Trump Tower where it's 3 floors and the White House is little. I don't know how they've lived in the White House. You know, if y'all have ever been to the White House, it looks big until you get in there, but most of those rooms, you don't live in them. They're public rooms, the blue room, the green room, the red room, all that. They're public rooms. Um, the family quarters on the second floor, it's really not big at all. And compared to what they're used to, they're, I mean, Barron had a whole floor to himself at Trump Tower. A whole floor. What in the name of God would a kid do with a whole floor? And it looks like a gold whorehouse. If you've ever seen pictures of it, it's like a brothel. Can't stand that. So nouveau riche. I just can't stand it. He doesn't know what understated means. And today he was having a fit because Melania hadn't been on the cover of any fashion magazines at Christmas time. And I'm like, girl, we've seen everything of her. We don't need to see anything else of her. But y'all, what do y'all think about trying to? Now I'm going to be, I'm going to have another show on YouTube with my friend Bert. Bert right now is over in Albania, taping food shows and everything. Yeah, nobody wants to see him. I have been on a gob of them, honey. Now, on IMDb, you can go and look me up and you can see some. But a lot of the things that I did in the, you know, late 70s and 80s, it's not going to be there. But, I was a model for years and years and years. And you can look up some of that. Um, but I've been on Bum Out. I've got a movie coming out in a couple of months called California Love. I've been on a gob of television shows. Um, but, it's just what I've been, God has graced me with, just being at the right place at the right time. But I was a Calvin Klein model for years. And it, even on this channel, you can see there's a trailer for the television pilot that I shot last year when I broke my foot. It's called Table 13. It's really good, y'all. Um, Dayton Callie was in it with me. He was, let's see, Sons of Anarchy. He was in that. Um, let's see, I forgot. You know, I don't really like those kind of shows. I've never watched any of them, but I've been on lots of stuff. But you know, lots of commercials. Y'all probably seen me do lots of commercials. I used to do them a lot. And there was a time I had gray hair, white hair, and it was long, about to here. And y'all will see me and stuff like that. But for a movie role that I did, they wanted me to cut my hair off and color it. So I did, but I wish I'd never colored my hair because now it's so hard to keep it. Oh, dear God, because it's white up under here and it fades so bad and then it looks blonde. Oh, dear God, it's a full-time job keeping the gray gone. But during COVID, I should have let it grow out again and not colored it. I guess I could get a wig and put it on until it grows out. But, ooh, keeping it colored is a pain in the wazoo. But the television show that we're working on right now is with John Nicholson. He was the star of Murder Chose Me. I can't see. I gotta see it. I can't see it. But anyway, we're working on a television show. We have writers and a showrunner. They're the ones who, the showrunner's the one who actually gets it sold to. I'm sure it's going to be on a streaming service like Netflix or Amazon. Let me see. I know someone who can consult. Yeah, I need one. Um, and the guy that does my hair, he does wigs as well. And I've worn them on, but oh my God, they drive me crazy. They, I'm like wanting to dig at it. But the guy that does my hair, he's actually he does drag, and he's fabulous. Let me tell you, I've seen his show. He's fabulous. And, he does these wigs like you've never seen in your life, but I couldn't pull off one of them wigs. Um, I'm not big enough. Um, I'm I'm not, even though I modeled, I was 5'8" at one time, and as you get older, you shrink. And I'm probably 5'6", and you can't tell on these um, phones, but I'm not large boned or nothing like that. Um, so I just can't pull off that kind of stuff. But y'all can go to my Instagram and see pictures of me when I modeled. There's the last thing I did for Calvin Klein. I'm in a black evening gown laying on a bed. Let's see, wigs. Yeah, wigs drive me crazy. I had one on, and when you're on set, it's hot. Those lights are hot, and it was, oh, I wanted, by the end of the night, I wanted to rip that wig off. Oh my God, it drove me nuts. But at least you don't have to do your hair. You just sling it on. Well, I didn't do it. The hairdresser did it, and they know how to make it look right. You know, because I modeled and everything so long, I don't know how to do hair. I don't know how to do makeup. That's the reason you can tell my eyeliner's always running and all that kind of stuff because I don't know how to do it. And when I wasn't working, I didn't put it on. But the older you get, you got to at least have some concealer or something because, ooh, and my eyes, you know, they're not the huge eyes, so I have to line them or they'd look like little peepholes. It's just things you learn as you go along. But I don't like to wear it, but, you look so bad without it. At 66 years old, I look dead. But I would like to let my hair grow back out. But when you're doing television shows, it's what they want you to look like. So I'll wear a wig if they tell me to do it because they paying you. But anyway, um, it's my Instagram is Amanda Hen 2000. If you go to TikTok, y'all probably know me as Nadine is Woke. And you know, what's my favorite food? I'm a country girl. I love beans and cornbread. That's what I learned how to cook. You know, as I've told everybody, my mother owned a florist and she worked 7 days a week. I'm not kidding you. And I had a lady that kept me, and her name was Minnie. And I tell everybody I was raised by a strong black woman. And she taught me to cook. She taught me how to clean house. She taught me how to iron. And she wore my butt out with a hickory, as they called it. And, if you talked back or something, she would tear you up. And she would take me on Sundays to her church. And I grew up going to Bethel AME Church. Are you doing more videos with Tyler? Yes, I hadn't been. Now, I saw Tyler, for Christmas. But, with COVID and everything, it's just really bad. But I'm going to go over next week and we're going to have a hamburger at the Burger Girl. That's my favorite place to eat. And in Palm Beach, it's the Dune Cafe. But I'm going to have lunch with Tyler and we'll do another video. I tell him all the time, I said, people, oh, he's sweet. He's so wonderful. I love him to death. He's my baby. But I tell him all the time, I said, honey, there's like 1 million people that has seen you all over the United States. I mean, he's had people call him. He looks like Cary Grant. He does, doesn't he? Um, when I was younger, I mean, he looks just like me. Um, and he's just my heart. I love him to death. But we have fun, and sometimes I spend the night over there, and he's got a cute little apartment, and he's taking acting classes too, y'all. He, I hope to be able to use him in the television show and take him out. But I was telling him some of those videos. Let's see. I do normally. I live in Palm Beach. We have a condo down there, but I go back and forth. And then when I'm working, I'm in LA, and we're going to shoot a movie, and starting in March in Cincinnati. So, you know, I'll be close to my aunt, and I'm going to take her with me. I'm going to take her with me to um, on set. I always have an assistant, and they can drive her around and bring her to set and stuff like that. She'll enjoy it. And, the hairdressers will fix her hair, and because she still does that teased up hair and everything, and they'll take care of her. But it'll be fun. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to going back to work. I hope to have the vaccine in a couple of weeks. That would be fun. You were in Cincinnati last week, I was born in Cincinnati just by a fluke. My grandfather had an International Harvester dealership, and that used to be the head office was Cincinnati. And my father went up for a meeting, and I was born in '54. My mother smoked the whole time that she's pregnant with me. You know, they used to not be like they are now. And the doctor told her she could go, and she was 8 months pregnant. She got to the hotel, whatever the hotel was. Oh gosh, that's fabulous. I'm glad you liked it. It was fun shooting it. We shot that in LA, and it was shot at Barbara Stanwyck's estate. That's where I fell and broke my foot. And this club downtown, when you see me going, table 13 has opened up when I'm ushering those people into the restaurant. This club in downtown LA, I didn't even know it existed. Um, but it's gorgeous. I can't even remember the name of it now. But it was filmed in those two places. But I'm telling you, Barbara Stanwyck's estate, oh my God, there's not a level place on that. I don't know how that woman lived there. I mean, I almost killed myself there. No handrails walking down to the swimming pool. And I mean, there's like 20 steps going straight down. And then where I fell was we were leaving the property, and it was like 70 stairs straight down. And there was a hole, and I stepped in it and fell. And I had on these shoes that a strap came over the top of my foot so my foot wouldn't release. And it broke that bone that's right on the top of your foot, and it broke it totally in two. And I was in the bed for 3 months. I had to keep my foot elevated because that bone has the least amount of blood flow to it than any bone in your body. So, it would swell so bad. And oh my God, it was just awful. I thought it was never going to heal. Altogether, I was under a doctor's care for 6 months. So y'all don't break that bone in your foot. And I've done forgotten what, I'd never heard of that bone. Didn't even know I had one. But it's like a cup bone that's right on the top of your foot that it puts everything together, your ankle and everything. But oh my God, it looks like a turtle shell. And I can't remember what the name of it was. Y'all, I'm going to have to plug my phone up. So let me see what this looks like without this ring light on. See if y'all be able to see me without it. Yeah, y'all can see me. I got to plug my phone up, so y'all bear with me a moment. I thought it was charged up enough that it would last the whole time. But y'all don't know how much I appreciate y'all getting on with me. I've had some people ask me to do it, and I don't know if y'all saw the last live I did on the channel. I interviewed that pastor from Oklahoma that he always goes, "Hey, I'm a pastor from Oklahoma and voted for Joe Biden." It's Jeremy C. Radio, and he is so wonderful. And I interviewed him for an hour to give his story, and it was so heartwarming that you could be a Christian minister and still, you know, he loves everybody. He understands that we're all none of us are perfect, and he invites everybody to come to his church, and it's just wonderful, and I just love it, honey. And I love you too. Y'all are so sweet. But anybody that y'all see that you would like for me to talk to, please let me know. I'm going to interview Rick Nagel. He is a filmmaker that lives in New York. And while all of this was going on, COVID and the election, he traveled to all 48 states, contiguous states. And he asked the same questions everywhere he went. And he's doing a documentary on how we don't listen to each other. We just scream at each other, but we talk at each other, but we don't talk to each other. And oh, y'all, on CNN right now, um, Obama, they have a special on Obama, and he's at Mother Emanuel Church, and he's about to sing Amazing Grace. When he was doing the eulogy for that pastor. I'm going to turn him up. Grace. Here he goes, y'all. Can y'all hear it? Amazing Grace. Can you hear it? Let me know.
I remember wondering.
Now they're not going to do it.
Stop speaking because there's no words. There was the sense of.
I was hoping they cut him off, but I love that where he sang Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. I think he's going to. Yeah, he's doing it. Can y'all hear it? Can y'all imagine Trump singing Amazing Grace? Mm-mm. Oh, God. Don't that just make you... It just gives me cold chill bumps, y'all. Isn't this fabulous? Oh, I do too, Ann. Amen, y'all. Amen. But I was telling you about being raised by a strong black woman. Minnie took me to Bethel AME Church. And when I started singing at that church when I was 5 or 6 years old, and this was her home church, and she taught me how to sing "His Eyes on the Sparrow," and it was just one of my. Yeah, he'll sing it as like a yeah. No, I think some other people will sing it his sentencing, but being able. Minnie would put me on the bench of the piano, and I would belt out, I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. For his eye is on that sparrow, so I know he watches me. Oh, I love that song. And when I was little, do y'all remember when, Billy Graham would be on and Ethel Waters would sing that song? And I'd be like, I sing like Ethel does. And she was so wonderful. I loved her. But, it's just a joy to be able to be raised like that. And I had the best of everything. But, I was just a poor little girl. My mama worked all the time, and my daddy worked all the time. And thank God this wonderful woman agreed to take care of me. And, when she'd go, I wanted to go home with her. She was like my mama. And don't be even thinking that it's like the help. No, we didn't have that kind of crap. My grandfather was, he was a huge worker in the civil rights movement. He walked over the Pettus Bridge with Martin Luther King and John Lewis. My grandfather was an example for me that I will never forget. And I think he instilled that in me, that it's not about what's in it for you. It's about what you can do to make other people's lives better. And because I had a chance to get out of the small town and get an education and to have an opportunity. When I was little, I didn't even know New York existed. You know, if I did, I thought it was on the moon. I would have never thought that I'd go there. But I remember going there. I guess the first time I went to New York was, I guess I was 18. And I modeled for a couple of years for a department store in Atlanta, Georgia. It was Rich's. If y'all remember Rich's department store, somebody was from Atlanta. Um, and, I was just walking through the store one day, and this lady walked up to me and asked me if I wanted to be in a fashion show. And I was like, are you nuts? And she kept on and kept on. And I was like, do I get free clothes? So she said, yeah, you can have an outfit. So that was all it took. And I did that for a couple of years. And then an agent was there one day when I was walking in the show, and they signed me. And I started, I did New York Fashion Week every year in New York. Milan, Paris, all of them. And to be, y'all hear me, I'm a little bumpkin from Center, Alabama. So, it was just, God had bigger dreams for me than I had for myself. I didn't even know this stuff existed, but he did it for a purpose. And it was not for me to get rich nor get fame and glory. That's not what it was about. And y'all know that that's just not, oh, honey, I don't know if anybody read a book and I can't write. I'd have to have a ghostwriter. But, I've had some experiences, but I was placed in them because I think God trusted me that I would never buy into all this. I mean, think about like TikTok. In 2 months, I had almost 200,000 followers. I mean, I don't even know how it happened. And millions of people, I've been able to talk with millions of people all over the world. And I mean, um, it's been humbling. And, and then here on YouTube, doing these YouTube shows, and it went from, I think I had 70 followers on here. Now it's almost at 1,500. And anymore, it's hard to build an audience on YouTube because it's huge. But hopefully we can build it and have, I'm going to be interviewing people and talking to them and doing, you know, uh, Tyler and I are going to do vlogs as soon as we can get back together and film stuff so y'all can see more of Tyler. He's my precious one. So, I mean, that's really what I'm doing and trying to, raise awareness and raise money for causes. That's what it's all about. It's I don't get anything from any of this. I just, on TikTok, people does those gifts. I didn't even know what it was for. I thought people were just sending me little sparkles and stuff. And then somebody told me that they were sending me money, and I'm like, don't do that. But that's what that the money that people sent me on TikTok. I asked everybody on TikTok what we wanted to do with it because I want to donate it, and we're giving it to a food bank. So anything that once now this YouTube channel can be monetized, and you don't get very much unless you're a huge um, channel. But any ad revenue that we get from here, um, I'm going to donate that to some either food bank or something to help people. I know a friend of mine has a show that she does, and she's got 4 or 5 thousand followers or subscribers, they call it on here. And she does a show for trans people, and she's fabulous. And I met her through taking a computer class. And Marty does. I think she'll be on tomorrow night. The title of her show is Beyond Trans, and it's a place for people that are trans that need medical information and doctors and all sorts of information that people, you know, if you don't know other people that are, that's what her story. When she was real young, a lot of people didn't know where to go to get help. And that's why she started this channel, is to show that people that are trans can have a successful life. And me having a gay son, it was important for me to share with people and to make sure that people feel included, and to join PFLAG and to march in parades, and what little celebrity I have, to use it to enlighten people on the different, you know, people, that we're all the same. And anybody that needs a helping hand, I'm a huge believer in Black Lives Matter, and seeing my grandfather work in the civil rights movement and getting beaten up, having the KKK burn a cross in our yard when I was 6 or 7 years old. I mean, it was years later that I even knew what it was. But, I was raised Jewish, and I went with Minnie on Sunday to an AME church, so I had some all of it. But we were the only Jewish family in that little bitty Alabama town. I got to put my glasses on. It's not helping average. Oh, honey, it's Trump, honey, and these Republicans. They think nobody needs a hand. They 20 million people out of work because of COVID, and they don't think people need help. I mean, that's the reason I get on and scream and holler. Is last night I was doing, and night before last, Christmas Eve night, I got on, and here is Don Jr. at Mar-a-Lago, and it looks like a gold whorehouse. Everything Trump touches, he's got to have it gold leafed. It's the god awfulest looking place I've ever seen. But here, Don Jr. is sitting there, wishing everybody a Merry Christmas, and he's flown down there, and we're paying for it, because even though Trump has his own plane, because of Secret Service guidelines, a military person has to fly Trump's plane. And you can go look it up, how much we're paying. And 2 other planes have to go. Now, all the kids and grandkids fly on Trump's personal airplane to Palm Beach. But 2 military transport planes has to take their vehicles that Secret Service drives them around in. All of Trump's kids get Secret Service protection. And all the grandkids. So they all have vehicles. Those SUVs, those black SUVs, they fly them down there in Air Force transport planes. When Trump goes down there, not only is there Air Force One and a cajillion people on it, there's like 6 airplanes that flies limousines and backup cars. They have 2 ambulances that are transported. It costs millions and millions of dollars to take them to Florida. And I know, Trumpers are going to say, well, Obama flew to Hawaii. Yeah, once a year. But if y'all recall, when he took office, Trump, he was going to Mar-a-Lago every weekend. And it was costing like, $30 million a weekend to fly him down there. Come on. Why can't you go to Camp David like everybody else? But, you know, he didn't like Camp David. He said it was a shithole. But every other president loved it because it's just rustic cabin. And they can go there and be free because, it's not even on a map anywhere. They when they're taken there, they can ride their bicycles, they can walk in the woods, and somebody's not with them all the time. But that's not what he likes. He likes grandiose. He don't even. I mean, I heard him say that he thought the White House sucked, and so why do you want to keep being president? He hadn't done anything for the last 2 months. Why does he even want to be president? Just because he wants to be a dictator. That's the reason why. I'm off on a tangent. But I did this video about Don Jr. People are starving and their kids didn't have Christmas, and he's bragging about being, oh yeah, I just can't stand him. But he's, bragging about being at Mar-a-Lago, and we're paying for his trip. And then his daddy don't even want to sign the COVID relief package that people could just get $600. Come on. And he won't sign it just because Mitch made him mad. That's the only reason. Because his people negotiated that thing. It's not like he can, he's trying to act like, well, it's full of pork and all this. He knew what was in it. Mnuchin was the one that negotiated the bill. He knew what was in it. He's lying, just like he's always lied. But when Mitch congratulated Joe Biden, that was it. He's going to do everything in his power to wreck this place. And he's done a darn good job of it. And 325,000 people are dead, and he never even brings it up. Never. There hasn't been one service held for memorial to all the people who have died. I mean, the National Cathedral could have a service without people there. And he could go and sit in the audience. He goes to all these rallies. What would it hurt him to go to a church service? But the place would cave in if he went there. That's what I think. Let's see. I wish they'd go ahead and remove. Oh, me too, honey. They need to get rid of him. I volunteered. Oh, thank you, honey, for volunteering. Oh, you know, we decided this year, my husband's Christian, my aunt is Christian, and we decided to just give money to food banks instead of presents. And, none of us, when you get my age and, going to see, yeah, he keeps blaming China. It's him that didn't tell you how bad it was and said it was a hoax. And everybody, now all his crazy people, none of them believe that it's real. And they go out there and get sick. This little church where my aunt used to go in Kentucky, everybody there has had it now. And some people have died because they keep on going and not wearing masks because they're all Trump supporters. And I'm like, what the devil is wrong with y'all people? But they swear that it's not real because he said it wasn't real. And they believe whatever he says. He could say that, the sky is, green, and they'd believe it. That's what's so crazy. I don't understand. For the life of me, I don't understand it. And I don't understand how poor people could ever vote for a Republican. When you're voting against your own best interest? Now, I agree, Democrats have not always, has not always lived up to what they should have done. They took people for granted. But I don't think we're going to be taken for granted no more, honey. I think, it was black women that won this election for Joe Biden. And we have Stacey Abrams to thank for it. She did the trick, honey. She brought Georgia home. And it was our brown and black brothers and sisters that got out. And honey, they need to be over the party now. It should not be old white man anymore. Joe Biden should be the last old white man as president. And I love Joe. And I'm glad after this crazy nut that we have now, we needed somebody that knows how to run a government. And we don't need any more inexperienced people. But after Joe gets it all straightened out, we don't need any more old white men to run this country. And I think Kamala, she'll be the next president, and she needs to pick a vice president that looks like America. America's not all white people anymore, and they don't have all the power. And I, you know, I think Kamala is just going to be the beginning. Now, we had President Obama, but we're going to have some real. Stacey is amazing. She is absolutely amazing. Um, oh, good. You're going to. Um, Somebody was just saying they have the 20th of January off, and they're going to. Um, I was lucky enough to get to go to an inauguration. I went to Jimmy Carter's inauguration. Oh, honey, I love you too. But I can tell, and I got to sit in the stands, behind everything. But it was so cold, and none of us need to go up there because you don't know what's going to happen. And with COVID going on, nobody needs to be in any, and there's not going to be any inaugural balls or none of that stuff, which is, it's all a bunch of baloney anyway. But I went that one time. I would never go back. Um, I'm not somebody that likes to go to parties. And I know, I'm telling y'all that I'm a homebody and I'm really shy. You know, I know I talk a lot, but I'm not somebody that likes to go to parties after I say hello and how's the weather. Well, I don't know what to say to these people. And people I don't have anything in common with. Now, y'all are my family. And, we can talk about things because we have a vested interest. But, rich people, I don't have nothing in common. Uh, Explosion in Nashville, they have gone, they know who that RV belongs to. And they have gone to a residence and they have called out his name. And it's somebody in Tennessee. And I'm afraid it's somebody trying to cause chaos. And I mean, the telephones are still down in Alabama, North Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Um, you know, I think it's I have no way of knowing. I'm just guessing. But with all the stuff that's going on, there's so many of his supporters that believe that he can, you know, do martial law and stay in power, which is all baloney. But they think if they cause chaos, then he can call in the troops and stay in power. But they don't know how the law works. Just because he, enacts martial law, the Congress can shut it down in 10 minutes. And there ain't nobody on Capitol Hill going to allow that to happen. You know, yeah, you got some of his little goofy supporters in the House of Representatives, But, honey, I can tell you them senators ain't going to play with that. Mm-mm. They should have taken him out when they had their chance. When the House impeached him, they should have removed him, and we wouldn't be going through this crap today. But it's too late now. But, honey, he's gone, whether they like it or not. And all these little crazy people that's listening to QAnon and, all of them right wing media outlets, The Onion and On, or whatever the name of that thing is, that, they have their own television programs and it's all crap. I've seen for the last week that people, Obama's already been arrested. He's in Hawaii, baby. He ain't been arrested. I saw the other day, Joe Biden's been arrested. Where are you seeing this crap? I mean, are you living in a dream world? You know, I want to do my share routine from Moonstruck. Snap out of it. That's what I want to do. Oh my goodness. I have Obama. Oh, have you got the book already? I haven't. Now, my aunt, I bought her Michelle's book. Um, Michelle's book was fabulous, but Obama is so smart and he's so cerebral that I'm afraid his book would go right over my head. And I think it's what, 700 or 800 pages long? Ooh, that's a long book. The most I read anymore, I have glaucoma and I have macular degeneration. Um, you have it on audiobooks. I do audiobooks sometimes, but I have a little tad of um, attention deficit disorder, and I kind of get lost in it. Y'all see how I go off the tracks talking to y'all? Something pops in my head, as they say, squirrel. But audiobooks, I tried to listen to the Dalai Lama's book one time, and I think I listened to the first chapter like 47 times because by the time it would get to the end of it, I didn't catch any of it. It was so over my head. And Obama is so intelligent that in his writings are so cerebral. I'm not sure I would get it. Now, Michelle's book was a delight to read. But now I did read Audacity of Hope, and that was a fabulous book. And my husband reads to me sometimes when he's here. He was reading John Meacham's new book to me. I forgot, is it Truman that he wrote the book about? Or is that Joe? I think Joe Scarborough wrote um, Truman's book. I can't remember what John Meacham's latest book was. I love John Meacham. He is so smart, and I love his commentary. But y'all, thank y'all for joining me tonight. And I've kept y'all on here so long, but y'all don't know what you mean to me. And I just thoroughly enjoy. Yeah, I love Mary Trump. Um, but I don't know if I could read it. Um, yeah, I got to go to bed too. It's getting late. But you're watching from Florida? Where in Florida? Because my husband's in Palm Beach. I posted a picture of the beach behind the house today. He sent me because I love to hear the ocean. I just love that. Some days when I just need to have that calming, I just go sit behind. We have a condo. Nothing. We don't have one of them $40 million houses in Palm Beach. Ponte Vedra. We used to live in that area, and we used to go to Ponte Vedra. I've been to the Ponte Vedra End, and um, I used to work for Barnett Bank, if you remember Barnett, and then Bank of America bought them, and I was a senior VP with Bank of America. Not only did I act and model, I worked. and I worked for the Federal Reserve Bank for 10 years. So I do have some expertise with financial matters. I know the Trumpers think I don't, but I do. So when I read it, I can. But yes, in between Ponte Vedra and St. Augustine, there is the cutest little subdivision, and it looks like um, all the homes have little porches, screen porches. Oh, I wanted to live there so bad, but we lived in Avondale, if you know where Avondale is, when we lived there. My husband worked for a cable company, and I worked at the bank, and then I would travel on the weekends and do photo shoots and stuff like that. But we, Avondale's gorgeous, and we lived on, the river road. Um, and it was gorgeous, but I always tell everybody that I lived on the wrong side of the road. Those houses on the river, were multi-million-dollar houses, and the ones across the street were not. But it was beautiful to get to look at it. But y'all, thank y'all for joining me tonight, and thank you for caring about other people. And let's think about what we can do, and send me comments about who you would like for me to interview. I can get most anybody on, and we can talk to them. And I hope the next time I do a live and I'm by myself, some of y'all will come on with me, and I can invite you to come on camera, and your camera on your phone or your computer will, let everybody see y'all, and we can see each other and talk to each other. But I love y'all, and thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. And just stay safe, know that you're loved, and, you know, let's help each other make it through this for the next 24 days. And then we've got wonderful prospects of life. But good night, everybody. Love you, and we'll see you soon. Now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off. Love y'all. See you soon.